Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at Exploration Tech with a very special guest that we're looking forward to diving in further with. Today, we're going to be discussing emphasizing scalability in your next ERP review. My name is Jared Hackbert. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing here at Brilliance Business Solutions. I've been with Brilliance for a little over 7 years now. Wild, Lori. And I love supporting organizations in digital transformation. It's truly a passion of mine to watch organizations embrace technology, whether it's in regards to e-commerce or now business management solutions or the various other tools that exist now and watch these manufacturers and distributors see such success through the power of leveraging these various digital tools. I'm going to pass it to Lori McDonald and let her introduce herself.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here at this session, especially with Wayne, who you'll get to hear more about in a moment. But before we do, I'd love to tell you a bit about my story. What most people remember about me is that I once worked at NASA Johnson Space Center as a flight controller for the Space Shuttle program, which was a really fun job. I went to Purdue in computer and electrical engineering, and I eventually went to work for NASA through an internship program and then full-time. And there I met my husband, who also worked as a flight controller at NASA. He also was an engineering student at Purdue. And eventually he went to work for Rockwell Automation. And that brought us to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where Rockwell's headquarters are in 1998. And the web was in its infancy. And I was trying to figure out what could be as cool as space. And so I decided to start a web development company. And meanwhile, my husband managed the largest data warehouse at Rockwell. And so we realized that we were kind of uniquely equipped to work in B2B digital commerce, working with mid-market manufacturers and distributors, helping them to implement digital commerce solutions online. Fast forward to today, well, actually, 10 years ago, my husband left Rockwell and now he leads our development team. Our team's been growing. And as a part of that growth, we've been continually looking at what we can be offering to mid-market manufacturers and distributors to support them in their digital transformation and growth and what challenges they're facing. And as a part of those conversations, one of the things that we heard from our customer advisory board was the challenges that exist in terms of data integrations and specifically ensuring their back office systems really enabled digital commerce and that digital transformation that they needed. And so Brilliance identified that we really wanted to move into the business management software space. And with that, we formed a partnership with Acumatica. And as a part of building out that partnership with Acumatica, we also identified that we really wanted to add some expertise to our team that had a depth of experience in the ERP space specifically. And that's how Wayne enters the story. And why we're so excited to have Wayne supporting Brilliance with his expertise and joining our team to really help manufacturers and distributors grow in digital. And Wayne, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lori and Jared. And I am excited to be here today. Just a little bit of my background. I've been doing accounting and software for a little over 30 years. I still feel like I'm in my 20s. Every day is kind of an adventure, and I enjoy doing what I do. I attended college in New Jersey, Fairleigh Dickinson University, and achieved a BS in accounting. I am a Microsoft certified professional and a Microsoft cloud solution provider. I probably performed over 100 implementations of accounting software systems, numerous upgrades, data integrations, particularly doing APIs and so on and so forth, very similar to what Lori's firm is doing at Brilliance. And I have something special that I do that I love to do, and that's called business process reviews. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But that was the span of my careers. My industry experience includes distribution, manufacturing, logistics, hospitality, financial services, retail, and healthcare. During my career, I worked with several ERP systems, well, maybe more than several, mid-market to small, including QuickBooks, Acumatica, Microsoft Dynamics Great Plains, Navision, Dynamics 365, Business Central, Best Software, which is Intact, Blackbaud, which is a nonprofit software. I did some PeopleSoft work, and a slew of related third-party add-in applications for each of those softwares. My colleagues describe me as an individual who is innovative and persistent problem solver, who thrives on challenges, excels under pressure, and gets the job done. I'm flattered. I like to think myself as an analytical problem solver that can share a wealth of experience in providing value-added solutions and advice to my clients and prospects. I was employed most of my career at CPA firms, and they included local, regional, and national CPA firm. In 2009, I decided to give it a go on my own, and I never looked back. And it's one of the best and most satisfying things I've ever done. During the course of my career, I've also acted as interim controller and financial director for several different companies that were in the process of organizing or searching for a replacement of a former controller. This provided me with an opportunity to see what it was like on the other side. Okay, so I guess I can truly say that I've been in your boots before. It really was a great way for me to experience the advice I actually give to clients and prospects. That's pretty much where I am right now.
That's awesome, Wayne. I always get so excited when I hear you talk about your experience, the depth of expertise you have with working with so many different accounting systems and supporting organizations and really understanding their problems and how you can help solve them.
If you get a minute, please follow both Wayne Jimmerson and Brilliance Business Solutions on LinkedIn, or if you want to connect directly with Lori or myself on LinkedIn, please do so. I can share that from Brilliance Business Solutions perspective, we are creating content as regularly as we can, and we're posting and sharing a lot of relevant information that we think you might find of value. What are the top concerns a mid-market organization is experiencing when it comes to their business management system?
I think the first one I would focus in on would be improved inventory and warehouse management. Remember, inventory is money, okay? Control of that money is critical. So it used to be in the old days, doing the books for companies and so on and so forth as an accountant, you do it, and then it's kind of like physical inventories weren't even taken days ago or years ago. And so they would just say, okay, we should be working at a X% gross profit margin. So we're just going to adjust the books that way. And what they found out was that inventory was so lost in the shuffle that they were thinking they were making money and when they're actually losing money. And so control is critical. So businesses today are faced with challenging supply chain and government regulations, while also they're trying to meet consumer demands and remain competitive. So a warehouse management system, which is known as WMS, gives businesses the tools that they need to be competitive while also trying to stay compliant with regulations. That's kind of tough. So software is going to make it easier. And this is accomplished through real-time recording and tracking of data, better business intelligence, and solutions that automate business processes. That's one piece. The next thing I would say is extremely important is really reporting needs and requirements. I meet with business owners and I say, I understand why you're asking me to come here. And what are you lacking in reporting? They're saying, well, I don't know where I am. At the end of the day, I don't know if I'm making money. I don't know if I'm losing money. I don't know this. And to find that out, I have to run like 17 different reports and abstract information from each of the reports to put them together into something that I could understand. Too much manpower to do that, takes too long. I want to know what's going on. Things change so quick in business. You don't have to tell everybody, they already know that. One of the things that I do is before I do anything, I start with the reporting end. Everything else is important. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, what tools does this owner need to run his business? What do you want to see every day? You sit down with a CFO. CFO wants to see certain things with the business. So the good part about that is that we can create reports and digital dashboards that focus in on those types of items that they want to see. A CFO versus a CEO versus a warehouse manager. They're each looking at different pieces and what's important to them. So these dashboards can be created within the software on a daily basis, and you could focus in on things that each of those individuals need in order to manage their part of the business. Okay, and they're going to be different. And so it's really nice to get up in the morning and see that you received an email in your inbox saying, oh, look, here's your dashboard from yesterday this was your sales amount for yesterday. These were your 5 top customer sales from yesterday. Here's your inventory balance. Here's your cash balance. Here's this, here's that. So anything that you want to see, you can do with the accomplishment of dashboards and KPIs, so that once you get this report delivered to your email, or maybe you just log into the software and get it, you can just drill down into it and see the details. Those are really 2 or 3 things that I think are what businesses want to focus on. And well, I guess let me add one more thing. They want greater control of their hardware, software, so on and so forth. And things that they're concerned about is backup, recovery, so on and so forth. Is my software scalable? Is it going to grow with me? All those things, and it's all of it really needs to be addressed to be able to manage and run your business effectively and make decisions for the future. The business owner needs to address each one of these issues.
Such great points, Wayne. We all have so much data, and yet how to bring it together in a way that we can quickly get an answer to those questions you're talking about, get an understanding of what's actually happening within the business, and providing those views to the users that need them quickly in the way they need them is so important. So really great,
Correct.
great points.
What would you recommend to people who aren't getting what they need from their ERP?
So, and I get that question and I get called on all the time for that. And so what I love to do, as I mentioned previously, is I do something called a business process review. So simply put, business process reviews, and it's an exercise designed to help businesses identify areas of improvement and become more agile, efficient, and streamlined. And so how do you know if your organization even needs a business process review? While every company could benefit from conducting a business process review, it's only worth the time and effort, and this is important, if you have a specific problem or problems you're trying to solve, or even a goal that you're trying to achieve. Furthermore, and probably the most important, is organizations must be ready and willing to make changes. So when we go in and look at your business processes, we actually sit down with key personnel and say, show me what you're doing. And we're looking for things like duplication of efforts, things to make things easier for people to understand in their daily job. Can things be automated more than what they are? Was your software set up properly to give you the results that you want? Was it even set up properly in order to give you the reporting that you want out of the system? So there's a lot of considerations with a business process review. Business process reviews are particularly effective before organizations begin implementing new software systems, because that basically, there's a reason why you want a new software system, right? Usually the things aren't going right or whatever. I'm not satisfied that I'm getting the right cost of goods sold numbers here. Something's not wrong. I'm bringing data in from an outside source, and the numbers just don't seem right. So let's do the business process review. And we talk about, when we do a business process review, we do an analysis of what's called an as is. So my current system as is. And then we're going to do the review and then come out with recommendations as to be. So to be is what your system wants to be or what you want it to be. So it's an as is current, and to be is what it should be. There's all kinds of things to talk about with business process reviews. We can focus on certain areas. Sometimes we say, well, accounting is accounting is accounting, and that's fine. But there's problems that are going to come up, which is why you're going to call on us to say, hey, come and do a business process review. And they're very effective.
That's awesome. And what I love about it is the fact that you're kind of starting with understanding where they're at today, and then also looking at having the end in mind of where you want to go and figuring out maybe the solution is you're on the right software, you just need to make some changes, right? And even then,
Correct.
if it is a software needs to change, you can identify really what the right choices are as a part of that. So
yeah, when the process review is completed, it is actually you have a report, and so you can do what you want with the report, but it's gonna point you in the right direction. And actually, software is really a secondary thing to accomplish what you need to accomplish with your business processes.
Yeah,
So
that's great. You have a depth of experience in working with ERP in general. You have a lot of experience working specifically with Microsoft Dynamics GP. And I am curious to hear from you, people that are Great Plains users, what concerns do they have today?
So I've been working with Great Plains before Microsoft even owned it, and that's going back pretty far. So it's kind of unclear for a definite answer about the future that they have announced for the end of life. But we do know that there's talk about Dynamics Great Plains end of life starting April 1st of 2026, where new customer sales of Dynamics GP is going to end. Then there's a statement that says starting April 1st of 2025, no new sales of GP perpetual licenses. So there's different types of licensing for GP, but the perpetual licenses are not going to happen after April 1st of 2025. Subscription sales, however, can still happen. So they say for an additional year. So now we're talking 2026, but the price of subscription and perpetual licenses are going up starting October of 2023. After they discontinue new customer sales, I heard that there'll be 5 more years of support. They have not identified support. So what does that mean? Maybe service packs to fix things and so on and so forth, but no new technology. The technology piece will stop. What's interesting is there are a lot of customers who have spent tons and tons of money on implementing GP, and they've had it for several years. So now to think about switching, it's kind of an odd and unstable time for them because they're not quite sure what to do at this point. So, but certainly the best time to start talking about it. Now is the time to start planning. And probably it's not going to be as tough as everybody thinks because there are a lot of new things that are out there in Acumatica and other softwares that, are going to probably do a very good job.
When you had shared with me in the past that you were an Intact dealer and that you saw things that were drawing users to Great Plains at the time, what problems drove users to choose to work with Great Plains?
Some of it has to do with some back end things. Here's an example. I had a prospect that was looking for software. So Intact was one and Great Plains was the other at the time. And they were analyzing both. Now, Great Plains did give the customer the ability to set up multiple companies without having to spend any additional licensing money. Intact, on the other hand, was different. They charge you basically, if you had a lot of companies, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So for each instance of a company that you have, they're going to charge you more money for licensing. So that was that. But Intact did have an advantage over Great Plains. Intact said, hey, we're your tenant. So when we upgrade our software, everybody gets the upgrade. They'll let you know when they're going to do it. But if you were doing some kind of a project or a customization and they wanted to do an upgrade of the software, you couldn't prevent them from doing it. With Acumatica, you have flexibility. Great Plains, obviously, you had 100% flexibility because you can do however you need to do the upgrade whenever you want. That was one of the differences. The other thing was the back end. So Microsoft Dynamics, their back end is SQL based, and their software language, Dexterity, which is proprietary to Great Plains. The Intact software backend is not as flexible as GP's is. So GP users were so used to SQL database language. SQL is known by everybody. Everybody understands and knows SQL.
Yeah.
And so getting into there to write queries and update queries and so on and so forth, I mean, all that was available to anybody who pretty much owned Great Plains. Intact is a little bit different story. They really don't let you into the back end. Anything that you need to do, you have to do with software add-ins.
Got it. And so it sounds like one of the things that really drew users to Microsoft Dynamics Great Plains was the ability to kind of do whatever they needed to do on the back end, right? They had that complete control and the ability to get into SQL and work with it to get whatever out of it they needed. And they really liked that ability to customize it to meet their needs. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another thing was the marketplace, third-party add-ins, authorized software add-ins. There was a lot more available for Great Plains, but obviously because it's been around a number of years more than Intact was, I'm pretty sure Intact has a lot of third-party add-ins by now. But that was another reason always where there wasn't enough third-party add-ins available for Intact initially.
So the future of Microsoft Dynamics GP is uncertain. There's an end of life in its future, but exactly when is uncertain. And obviously, Microsoft is encouraging users to move to Dynamics 365. What have you seen?
It's my opinion, but I've also had discussions with colleagues and friends who are in the same business that we are in, and their opinions are pretty much the same. So, I'm not going to desecrate the software or anything. Microsoft Dynamics 365. I mean, it works. I don't care for the user interface. I think it's complicated. I think that there are limitations right now that is not going to provide the compatibility for Dynamics 365 Business Central to say, hey, you're on Dynamics GP. You can come off GP and come on Dynamics 365 Business Central. I don't think, as of today, that Dynamics 365 Business Central is ready for prime time, so to speak, where I can take a lot of GP customers that are pretty sophisticated and drive them over to Dynamics 365. Now, having said that, there's another version of Dynamics 365, which is F&O, but that's a pretty expensive alternative. And so, some may decide to do that and some may not. But the ones that do, just understand that, that's kind of like a comparison to the old version of Dynamics AX. And AX was kind of like, yeah, so here's your basic things. And now anything else you want, you can customize to meet your needs. So customization, it can get expensive. I understand sometimes it's needed. But my theory is I'd rather do zero customization if I can handle it with a little bit of a change in business process, or to add in a third-party software that would,
Mhm.
satisfy the needs of that little difference. That I think that's a better way to go. Because once you get into customizations, any software or potential software upgrades could be pretty difficult to deal with, and you may have to bring your programmers back in and redo your customizations.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And similar to our experience in the e-commerce world, anytime you introduce customizations, it can lead to future technical debt that you're going to have to cover. Let's talk about Acumatica. The three of us had the opportunity to attend Acumatica Summit this past January. And I know we all actively, too, have been going through training and education and staying up to date on everything that's going on with that platform. What's been your experience so far with Acumatica? And more so, what do you like about it? What do you not like about it?
So there's a lot that I like about Acumatica, to be honest. I love the user interface. I love the fact that there are pretty in-depth applications that you can get that are industry specific, let's say for manufacturing add-in and distribution add-in and so on and so forth. And they're really good. So Microsoft Dynamics does have add-ins as well. So you pay extra for, let's say, manufacturing. Manufacturing, in my opinion, has been around for a long time with Great Plains. I feel that they didn't spend a lot of time really getting that product up to speed, and there's not been many changes. And so, yes, it's usable and you could work with it, but just after going through the Acumatica manufacturing and what it has to offer and what we saw in the conference, what was presented there, I kind of fell in love with it. I think it's really awesome. So that's something that I would keep in mind. So Acumatica offers obviously industry specific editions. I think it's manufacturing, construction, retail, commerce, distribution, and general business needs.
As we were preparing for this conversation, you had referenced and actually inspired the title for this session today, which is the idea of emphasizing scalability in your next ERP review. In your experience and what you've seen so far, does scalability play into Acumatica as a platform?
Yes, it does. And I'm impressed with everything I've learned about the commitment on behalf of Acumatica to continue to develop their software to meet the rapidly changing needs every day. I mean, look what's going on with AI and business intelligence. I mean, if you don't stay current with this stuff, your software is not gonna handle everything that everybody else is handling with their software, and make it more difficult for you to manage your business. So that's what I'm really impressed with, the commitment from Acumatica to their software moving forward.
One of the things that has always impressed me, one of the reasons we decided to partner with them, was that they, as an organization, are very customer focused. The fact that they have a customer bill of rights, that they really are constantly listening to their customers and identifying customer requests or end up as on their product roadmap in terms of the improvements that they're making to their product. And that is something that we're attracted to, because that's also a value that we have, is really listening to our customers and identifying how we can innovate to support them in growing their businesses. So it's great to be able to work
Yeah.
with software companies that have those same areas of focus.
Yeah, and there's a few other things. I just made a couple of little notes on flexible licensing options. So,
Mhm.
both products, they're available through subscription licensing. Let's say Microsoft Dynamics 365 versus Acumatica. But Acumatica also offers alternate options for customers for their unique requirements, which I think is really cool. Customizations using industry standard tools. I mean, both products they're configurable, but Acumatica is built using industry standards C plus and .NET. Business Central, let's say, uses a proprietary development language called AL with extensions 2.0, and just making it a little bit more proprietary, more difficult to use. And Acumatica and Dynamics 365 is essential. Both products, they allow you to scale resources to support a growing company, but Acumatica charges uh, by the computing power. How much do they charge you? By the computing power required, and not by the user, which I think is cool. You can scale up easier with Acumatica. Unlimited users can access the system and contribute to operational efficiencies. Business Central, on the other hand, is licensed by user, so it's a lot different. And so you have to just be aware of the costs and consider them in any final evaluation that you do. If you just took a piece of paper and did pluses and minuses, you'll see there's a lot more pluses on the Acumatica side. Interestingly enough, Great Plains is really not a true cloud product. You can run it in a cloud. You can run it in Azure. Basically, you can throw a SQL Server up there, an application server, domain controller, and you can get your GP software running up there. The problem is it really is not a true cloud product. So
Mm.
where if you take an Acumatica where you can get this up in the cloud and have everything set up in the cloud, and I can actually access this very easily through my desktop PC, through my laptop, through my phone, through my iPad, wherever I want to
Yeah.
be. And it's all secure, but it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Number two, with Great Plains, even if you're running it up in an Azure cloud, all the upgrades, everything have to be done by the software owner. So if I had Great Plains installed in my business, I would be responsible to make sure that not only did I do the upgrades to Great Plains and any third-party Great Plains products, but I would also have to maintain the SQL Server versions, compatible versions, and so on and so forth. So basically, what you're talking about is a lot of extra overhead and staff, perhaps, to
Mm.
keep software up in the cloud and going, and so on and so forth. And I think it's just so much easier in the cloud with like an Acumatica.
Yeah, those are really great reasons and a demonstration of how technology really is modernized over time and the benefits of a cloud-based software.
Lori, I'm going to position this at you. I was really excited about having the opportunity to create this content with Wayne today because of bringing his experience to the Brilliance team and to our clients, and how we're going to make this of value to them in the future as well. What would you say to someone who's considering a business management system replatform or ERP replatform as to why they should work with us instead of another provider?
Yeah, it's a great question. And what I am really excited about for us in terms of the value that we can offer to organizations is that I think we have a really unique expertise that we can share, because organizations, industrial suppliers, mid-market manufacturers and distributors that are looking to leverage digital technology need to have their business systems in a good place so that they can enable their digital experiences to offer that seamless buying experience to their customers and really enable customers to interact with them, that enables them to compete more effectively in the market. And Brilliance, we have 25 years of experience in doing exactly that and helping organizations who may have not previously been leveraging their website or selling online, in helping them to do that. And now with Wayne's expertise on our team and his depth of experience in this space, to me, now we offer kind of a full circle level of the expertise that can really help organizations ensure they have their back office in the place they need it to be, to enable their operations to be efficient and effective and get the reporting they need, and also have their data in a way that we can be exposing that to their customers and enabling them to more easily interact with them. So really excited about the opportunities that we have to be providing better advice and helping our customers to make the most effective decisions possible.
I know Wayne earlier has mentioned and discussed his business process reviews, and we believe this is something that organizations would benefit from. And so what we're going to do is offer a 20-minute free session for those who have watched today's session. And within that 20-minute session, what we're going to do is help you validate and engage whether or not a business process review makes sense for you. Now, a business process review isn't a paid engagement. So what you're getting in this is, we're going to come in and have a conversation, understand your current situation, have you discuss some of the pain points that you're experiencing, and we'll be honest with you. We're going to tell you whether or not taking that next step and getting into a business process review makes sense, or if you're in a better situation than you may think, you just needed some, industry level experience to say, hey, things look good. So if you are interested in a free 20-minute session to validate whether or not a business process review makes sense with you, please engage with myself, Jared Heckford at Brilliance Business Solutions. Again, thank you, Wayne, for taking time out of your very busy schedule to support today's content, as well as leave the floor here to you if there's anything that you'd like to close out today's session with.
I'd just like to say that I really appreciate the opportunity to do this and to be able to work with Brilliance and Lori and David and yourself. I think there's a tremendous opportunity for any prospects or businesses to have us share our experiences and helping them meet their software needs. Remember what I said earlier, your data that you get out of your system, that is your tool to help you, number one, understand your business, make the business decisions timely, and also that's your tool for growing your business into the future. And if your data is not there and it's not good, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're going to fall behind, unfortunately. And we'll be happy to help you and discuss with you any way we can.
Thank you, everyone, for taking time to join us today. And thank you, Lori. Thank you, Wayne. And looking forward to future conversations on business management solutions and ERP.